who is currently the superintendent of Peck Public School with experience in education to also include middle school teacher, coach, and principal. Please join me in welcoming Dr. John Cox.
Well, good morning. So, raise your hand if you're as frustrated as I am. Okay. Well, we live it every day. And people ask me, why are you running for this position? And why are you putting this target on your back from our state leader? And I say, because I've had enough. And so you've had enough too, right? Okay. And so that's why I'm here. And I'm here to say, basically, that I need you. And to make this happen, I'm really talking to the most powerful group in Oklahoma that can make this happen. You can have control over every election that we have. And so I'm here to encourage you to get out and do that. And I'm here to encourage you to say that I need you and that we need to value and respect you again. Most important thing, what I always do before I start, is that I always like to thank God for the opportunity to be able to be here and also be able to represent our kids and take care of our public schools. So I like to acknowledge that because that's why I'm doing it. And we know that you are a teacher because you want to help others. It's not about pay, it's not about anything else, but you want to make a difference in other people's lives. And so when it boils down to it, that's why I'm running for state superintendent. I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference in your life, and I want to make a difference in our kids' lives. So the question is, and over the next 2 days, you'll see the other 3 candidates on the Democrat side. And so it's going to be extremely important that you choose one of us. And I'm working hard for you to choose me, but it's extremely important that we get going because we have 8 weeks before the election, the primary. And it's going to come down to one thing. It's going to come down to public school versus charter school. And I'm a public school person. I give my life to public school. Public school has taken care of me. And it gives me and my family the great life that we have to live. So that's what I'm an advocate for. I do not like giving money away to charters or other entities from what we have because we don't have the money to give away. We need to keep working. You can touch that. So there may be a place for a charter school, but they need to fund themselves. And we need, but I want to get back, and there's just a few things within this 10 minutes that I want to say to you. The very first thing is that when I enter the office, you know that you will be valued and respected. And I will fight for you, and not only will I be there with you, you will be there with me. You will have a seat at the table on everything I do because you know what's going on. In my school, I hire quality people, and I get out of their way and I let them do their job. That's the way it ought to be. That's the way leadership should be. You can clap for that one too. And we did talk about teacher pay, and of course, you know, when you're starting out as a teacher, there's no incentive to be a teacher anymore. Even you will be honest with me and tell me that you don't talk your own children into becoming teachers. Okay? So we need to reverse that trend. We need to go back and say it's a valuable and it's an honorable profession, and we need to start talking to our own children about getting into the profession and letting them know it's a great profession. And I plan on with your help turning that back around. But pay is an issue because you can't survive. A family with 2 children cannot survive on a teacher's pay. So we have to work extremely hard to get that up over, not just at the state area average, but above that. And we need to work hard to do that. And there's ways to do that. There's money to do that. In the state superintendent's budget alone, you can find $50 to $75 million that are used for programs she likes to be moved over to state aid. So that's a good start on it. And you know, and I know on her mind, because I've sat in those committees, that merit pay is a key issue for her. Well, I think we should take those key issues you have, put that back in state aid, help increase your pay, help pay for operational costs in our schools. So that's an initiative of mine. Bargaining, as you know, is extremely important to you. And as you see on my profile, I say it's not only a legal right, but it's a moral right, because you have to be able to stand up for yourself as an individual or a group. So I'm completely behind you on what you're doing there. Evaluations, TLE, absolutely we should not put the test scores on your evaluation. You should not have that on there. And you can see so many problems with that, but I'm telling you, if Janet Breesy or the other one who's going to keep the same reforms is on there, you're going to see test scores on your evaluations. It makes no sense, and also it's going to cause dissension between all of you because you're going to be looking for those better students. So we've got to make sure and fight together to make sure we don't add that part to your evaluation. Standards and Common Core. I do not support Common Core, but what we will do is bring you back in as teachers to help redevelop at every grade level and every discipline and redesign what we have for our objectives, because aren't you smart enough and intelligent enough to come in and help me do that? Right? So, the first step when I get in there, it's not going to be Common Core, it's not going to be OAS, which is the same thing, but it's going to be it's going to be Oklahoma's, and we're smart enough to look at the rigor across the nation and see where we need to be. So we're going to develop what we have, and then also whatever we test with, we're going to know what's on the test. Because I get so frustrated because every year we have no clue what they're going to ask us. And so it makes no sense what the student answers on the test in the first place. So I'm frustrated about that. Testing itself, I had a little 8-year-old in my office last week just bawling because he did not want to fail the test, the reading test. The day before, he scored a 97 on his test. No problem with passing, but he was in my office crying. I talked to a special needs teacher last night whose students are being degraded because they're on first grade level, but in 6th grade class, and they have to take a 6th grade class test. How wrong is that? What I plan to do is go back to math and reading, since that is federal guidelines. Go back to that, and I don't even have a problem doing pencil and paper because you can get it in and get it back quick. There's no problem with doing that. And in turn, that gives you back your classroom so you have more time for instruction and you can do better things in your classroom. So it's really important to me that you have your classroom back. We do less testing, but still have accountability, but do less testing. And I think it makes sense. And does that make sense to you? So what I would say as a summary is that what do you want? What do you want as a teacher, as your next state superintendent? This is my 20th year as being as a superintendent itself. I teach over at Northeastern State University in the adjunct area of administration. And so I teach the courses to become a superintendent. So I feel like my whole life has come where I've been trained for this position. I didn't know it was going to come, but Janet Breesy prodded me into this position. And so we're going to give her everything we got. But I want you to know me as a person because, again, I have 8 weeks. We have 8 weeks, and I do not want charter versus charter in our general election for public education. All right? So please join me. And if you want me to come to your area and talk to teachers, or you want me to come and just present myself, or if you go on my website on Facebook at Elect Dr. John Cox, you can read all about me. You can read all the answers that I've given you here and more that you're interested in. You can ask me, and I will be direct and give you an answer. And I think that is the most valuable thing about what I can give you. Since we live it, we can lead it. And that's what I'm telling people. I can answer your question, and I can tell you what I think right now. I don't have to get back to you. So after the course of these 2 days, evaluate that, and I will be there beside you on what we're doing. And really, thank you so much for what you do for our kids, because that's why I'm up here right now, is because of what you do. And I'm going to fight for you and our children. So be there in June for me, June the 24th. And if you have any questions, you just find me. Thank you.